The ocean is actually the largest habitat on our planet, covering over 70% of the Earth's surface. Yet more than 80% of it remains completely unmapped and unexplored by humans. Life in the sea is a massive, complex web of survival that is divided into different zones based on how much sunlight penetrates the water. Here is a breakdown of how life thrives across the ocean's depths. 1. The sunlight zone, epipelagic zone, 0 to 200 meters. This is the top layer where sunlight easily penetrates, and it is where about 90% of all marine life lives. The foundation. Tiny, plant-like organisms called phytoplankton use sunlight to perform photosynthesis. They produce about 50% of the Earth's oxygen, meaning every second breath you take comes from the sea. The residence. This zone is crowded with familiar marine animals like colorful coral reefs, sea turtles, dolphins, tuna, and reef sharks. 2. The twilight zone, mesopelagic zone, 200 to 1,000 meters. As you go deeper, sunlight fades rapidly, and the water becomes cold and dim. Plants cannot grow here. The survivors. Creatures here have adapted to low-light conditions. Many have massive eyes to catch any stray light, and some use bioluminescence, the ability to create their own chemical light to trick predators or attract prey. The daily migration. This zone is home to the largest migration on Earth. Every single night, billions of small fish and critters swim up to the sunlight zone under the cover of darkness to feed on plankton, and then sink back down before the sun rises to hide from predators. 3. The midnight zone and the abyss, bathypelagic and abyssopelagic zones, 1,000 to 6,000 meters. This is a world of pitch-black darkness, near-freezing temperatures, and crushing water pressure. Extreme adaptations. Food is incredibly scarce here, so creatures have evolved extreme features. You find fish with expandable stomachs, so they can swallow prey bigger than themselves, and massive, needle-like teeth. Bizarre species. This is where the infamous anglerfish lives, using a glowing, dangling lure on its head to trick prey into its mouth. It's also home to the vampire squid, gulper eels, and giant isopods. Hydrothermal vents. On the pitch-black ocean floor, underwater volcanoes and vents spew toxic chemicals and superheated water. Incredibly, entire ecosystems of giant tube worms, blind shrimp, and crabs thrive around these vents. Instead of relying on sunlight, they use a process called chemosynthesis to turn toxic chemicals into energy. 3 strange marine life facts. The immortal jellyfish. There is a tiny species of jellyfish, Turritopsis dohrnii, that can literally cheat death. If it gets sick, stressed, or old, it can revert its cells back to its childhood polyp stage and start its life cycle all over again. Deep sea giants. For some reason, creatures that live in the deep sea tend to grow much larger than their shallow water relatives, a phenomenon called deep sea gigantism. Examples include the giant squid, which can grow up to 43 feet 13 meters long, and the king of herrings, oarfish, which can grow up to 36 feet long. Whale fall ecosystems. When a massive whale dies in the upper ocean, its body sinks to the barren desert of the deep ocean floor. This is called a whale fall, and a single carcass can provide food and shelter for an entire community of deep-sea creatures for up to 100 years. Is there a specific ocean zone or a particular marine animal you find most fascinating?